Hi, my name's Leo. We are talking and discussing on how to overcome depression, the things that we can do so we can overcome depression permanently. And we are actually up to number 4, and it's about dealing with disappointment. We were speaking that number 3 is hope deferred makes the heart sick. So we got to have hope for our life. We got to have hope. But how do you deal with disappointment when your hope wasn't met? When you got disappointed? The way you and I deal with disappointment is very important, because if we don't have a bounce back, if we let disappointment take us out, punch us, and we don't want to get back up, we don't want to fight again in life, we don't want to have hope anymore, disappointment is going to eat you up from the inside out. So deal with disappointment, deal with hurt, deal with wounds when people close to you wound you, betray you, backstab you. How do you deal with that? You've got to have a bounce back. You've got to be able to say, you know what? I'm going to let go. I'm going to forgive them. And the greatest way to deal with disappointment is to forgive. We've got to have the power of forgiveness to be able to say, God, I forgive them because they don't know what they do, no matter what people are going through. And so hope deferred makes the heart sick. How do you deal with disappointment? If you lost a job, do you just go, oh, that's it, I lost a job, and then give up, I'm not going to look for a job anymore? No, you got to get yourself up and say, you know what, I lost a job, that's okay, I'm going to find a better job. I believe God's going to give me a better job. I might have lost this job. I might have, lost all my money, got bankrupt. But you know what? God's going to give me an idea and I can build it up again. Most millionaires, most successful people that have made a lot of money have lost millions of dollars and been bankrupt many, many times. But what did they have? They had a bounce back. They just got up again and tried again. They just got up again and worked again. So you got to be able to deal with disappointments. Say, God, help me in this situation. When I had situations that I faced and someone broke my heart. I remember I had a relationship with someone before I was married, obviously, and had this girlfriend. She left me for somebody else. It broke my heart. But you know what? I went to God. I said, God, help me, And you know what God said to me? Leo, if you follow me, and if you're walking with me, I've got the best person in the world for you. I have a woman. I'm going to give you the best wife ever. So once I heard from God that promise, I bounced back. I got rid of that disappointment. I had hope in my heart, and I said, yes, Lord, I believe you. I trust you. That's why a relationship with God can really help you, because you know what? God provided for me an amazing wife, a magnificent one. We married for over 27 years with 5 children. That's God's goodness, and that can happen for you too. So number 5, I believe in the power of communion with God. Now, I know I talked about relationship with God because we've got to come back to God before we have communion with God. But we need to have communion with God. That means prayer. That means prayer is not a one-way dialogue. Prayer is a communication, dialogue. We talk to God, God talks to us. We have a conversation with God. That's what prayer is. And I'll tell you what, powerful key of prayer. Can I give you the most powerful key, the most powerful secret to prayer or to communion with God? I'm about to give it to you. You want to hear it? The most powerful key is to be absolutely honest. That's it. Now that might be too simple for you. You might think, what do you mean to be absolutely honest? Yes. So it's not that easy to be absolutely honest. There's many reasons why we're not vulnerable to God. There's many reasons why we're not opening up our hearts and pouring out our hearts to Him and talk to Him, because we fear what He thinks. We don't want to hear our own heart. We don't want to hear our own motives. We don't want to see what's ugly in there when we talk to Him about it. But I'm telling you, when you talk to God and be conversational with Him, and you open up your heart, pour your heart out, be 100% honest. You know what? He knows everything anyway. You can't hide anything from God. So you might as well tell Him everything in prayer. When you talk, I'll tell you what happens when you talk with God and you tell Him everything, you get to know yourself really, really well. And so if you are going for a hard time, it's something just disappointed you and something bugging you and something sort of trying to drag you down and depress you, you can do this. God, what's bugging me? What is it that's trying to weigh me down? You know what God's going to do? Because you know yourself really well, and because you communicated with God, and because you opened up your heart to Him, you know your motives, you know your thoughts, you know your emotions. I tell you what, because you're walking in the light, as He is in the light, because God's light and the enemy's darkness. When you walk in the light, you know exactly what's bugging you. God will say, you know what's bugging you, Leo? It's this, it's that, it's the pressures of finances, it's this relationship that person has spoken bad about you, it's this, it's that, and that. And all these little things, sometimes it's a number of things that build up that try to bring depression on us. And so, but the issue here is God shows you what it is. When you know what it is that's weighing you down, when you know it's bugging your spirit, bugging your mind, bringing worry or care on your mind, you can deal with it. And that's what it means to have communion with God, to have a conversation with God, to pour out your heart with God and be 100% honest.